Hey guys, it's Ross, and today I'm going to be 3D printing a customized Wingman from the Apex Legends or Titanfall universe. And this is a project I've been planning to jump into for a long time, as the first big project I ever did was making a really cool Wingman, but it didn't come out quite how I wanted it. Now we're going to go back and hopefully do it even better. And this is going to end up being a gift from my brother, so it's going to be customized with his gamer tag and such. We're also using a brand new printer. This is the K1 from Creality, and it's our flagship printer. And this thing is incredibly fast compared to the 3D printer that I've previously been using. So much so that in the footage it looks like it's sped up, but it's actually just going at normal speed. And watching it in real life is a phenomenal experience. And Creality's also finally decided to go open source, so you can actually download the actual source code for their slicer and such on GitHub. And thanks very much, Creality, for sending me this 3D printer to check out. If you actually want to buy a 3D printer from them, there's a code in the description below which actually gives you a discount if you're looking to get your own 3D printer. But anyway, let's jump into making this Wingman. So first you'll find a link in the description below which goes to the Thingiverse of the original version of this, which is amazing to put together. And then what I've done is I've gone into just a free online software which you can use on the web browser to then customize it to my heart's content. I've also simplified it, so I've brought down some of the part numbers. So for instance, that top piece there that I just put down, that was originally 3 parts. I decided to merge them all together to make it one solid piece. And we've printed out all in black with the idea that this is going to be black and silver with a very nice two-tone paint job when we're finished with. We've also got all the little bits as well, and yeah, so this here is my original attempt at the Wingman, I think about 8 months ago or so, and it was supposed to be a two-tone paint job with 2 different colors of silver, but it ended up, to me, just getting a bit too muddled and kind of losing the look I was going for. It's not bad. I think for my first ever big 3D printed project, this was a big success. It may have not come out the way I wanted it, but it was a huge success. And with using the new K1 printer here, I was able to print off the new one in about 1/10 of the time that I did with the original, and that is just crazy how quickly you can get the prints out now and how far 3D printers are continuing to progress. Now my biggest hurdle was actually this piece. This is kind of like maybe the receiver you would call this in a real gun. And what I needed was to put this all into one piece, because this was originally 3 different pieces, and the big problem with that is none of them have a flat area to actually print on. So what I did is merge them all together, and then I can print it on one uneven side and then hopefully get a better, cleaner print at the end of the day. And then I also tried, because I was experimenting here, I tried putting them on their sides and printed it on their side instead. And you can see the different textures you can get from different orientations you print off at. And the great thing was this takes about 8 hours to print on the old printer. On the new one, it's about 2 hours or less. And yeah, it was really cool. And you can see also how my progression with the actual 3D modeling kind of went over as well, because one of them looked really terrible. And then the final one, I think, actually came out really good. And then we've also got the personalization that I've added in. So on the top rail, you can see that I've added in Hawkmill, which is my brother's gamer tag. So I just wanted to make this very nice customization. And you can see how this originally was 3 different parts that I've merged together to be one print. And I think it still kind of comes across relatively convincingly that there are 3 bits. Now let's move on to doing a test fit. So we've got the receiver here. This is where a lot of the bits attach to. And this is also why I decided to make it one piece, because it's kind of like a nice anchor point for everything that attaches to it. So it should make the whole thing a lot more solid. Because that's the thing about the other one. The previous version feels a bit more wobbly. This should end up being a lot more kind of sturdy when fully assembled and fully glued. Right now we're just doing a dry fit, which I'll fast forward through so you don't have to be sitting around waiting for that. But here is the final result, and you can see how it's starting to come together. And it looks pretty damn cool. So I'll separate out the bits that are going to get painted silver, and then the rest will remain black, and that'll be just the raw black of the filament, which I think is going to be good because it will mean that the wear will be very little on those pieces. Because effectively they can't get chipped or anything like that because there's no paint on them, so just to be nice and black for the rest of their life. So after that successful test assemble, I went ahead and I painted up the silver parts. And now we're going to go ahead and actually start gluing things together, and you're now going to be able to see this thing properly come together with the silver and black paint job. Now I did something a little bit different from usual. I normally use this cheap super glue that I got off Amazon, but it off gases over time, which of course is not great you end up with this kind of dusty residue left over, and it just keeps doing it forever basically until it completely decays. So I actually used some more expensive super glue to put this thing together. It comes in tiny little balls, and this should mean that this thing actually doesn't have any kind of issues of age over time, and hopefully it's going to hold together very, very well as well. I also did it in segments as well, just by sticking all the stuff that would fit on initially, then leaving it all dry, coming back and starting to put the rest on. And yeah, like it's already starting to look cool. I wasn't sure because I was thinking, should I do black and white? Would that be a better paint job for my brother? But as I started to assemble this, the black and silver was definitely starting to win me over even more. And this is definitely what I was going for with the original one I actually made. That really nice two-tone paint job. And yeah, it is really starting to come out really, really good. And the only part that's really annoying to put together is the kind of sheath for the barrel. Definitely has the most pain in the ass attachment method out of all the bits. But after leaving it overnight to fully solidify, this is what we have, and it's almost done. There's just a few small parts to get fitted in, and then we're there. And I am kind of gobsmacked actually with how good this ended up looking. I'm really freaking happy. You guys let me know what you think as well. Like, I could always come back to this again and do like a black and red one, or just try all kinds of stuff. And it has been a joy to print this for a second time. So who knows, I might go for a third time at some point. And yeah, now we're just getting the final pieces in. And hopefully these will stay on. I'm using again this much better super glue. Hopefully that is enough to hold those pieces in long term. We'll see. This is another thing, I'm not entirely sure. So fingers crossed on that. But yeah, this is the final touches, and then we have our complete wingman. And I'm definitely loving it. So really cool. And yeah, this thing has come out exceptional. So yeah, give me a rating of what you think of this wingman. And I think there will be people who actually prefer the original one. Like, it's still cool. It's not bad, but it's just not quite my taste. Whereas the black and silver is 100% my taste. So yeah, it's awesome, and I can't keep praising it more. So that is our final weapon, and that'll be going to my brother for his birthday. And it has turned out better in every way compared to the original. It is far sturdier. It was an issue with the old one where it kind of felt like it was a bit flexy, or had the kind of feeling that it wasn't quite as well put together. This one is far more solid, even though, for instance, the top part isn't glued on there. It's actually pressure fitted, and it's staying on very, very well, even though there's no glue on that. And yeah, it looks brilliant, and I'm very, very happy with it.